Just let me know when.
Now is when.
You know, I think I've been getting a lot of messages from people about being in the path of the hurricane. So I was thinking about opening with a really just ultimately cheesy hurricane joke. I'm going to run a couple by you and you tell me which one you think would be best.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Okay, knock knock.
Who's there?
Hurricane.
Hurricane who?
Hurry, can you run away from the storm?
I wouldn't go with that one. In fact, I hope for the sake of... I just really hope no one besides me ever hears that joke out of your mouth.
But you got to be able to, you got to sell it. You know what I mean? You have to like act like this the first time you're hearing it for it to work.
Okay.
Or there's this one. What did the hurricane say to the other hurricane?
What?
I have my eye on you.
Yeah.
Yeah?
So it's, well, do you have any more?
What do women, hurricanes, and tornadoes have in common?
What?
They all get the house. What was this one? No?
They all get the house?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad. That one's not bad. We might get some letters.
Let me see. Letters. Oh, from feminists. I get it. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Why can't men get the house too? I can hear it now.
Why?
I don't know. I'm saying what a feminist is probably going to say when I say that joke.
Yeah, I gotcha. I thought that was a new setup.
Yeah. Let's not go that route.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I'm kind of limited then. You keep saying we have rapport. Like, what does that even mean?
Tension all the time. So I think it must have to do with that.
You mean the sexual tension that you have towards me?
I mean, they've said it's between us, and I believe the world
right,
was
that's what he means by us, obviously.
Yeah. But the literal definition is a close and harmonious relationship in which each people or group's concerns understand each other's feelings or ideas and communicate well. So maybe we don't have rapport.
You can never understand me. I'm deep like a well.
That's predictable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take my shoes off. What am I doing? Lose about an inch. Oh, 38 seconds.
Golly. Really?
Yeah, people are talking
I'm not
about
ready.
Intermittent buffering in the...
I don't want to do this anymore.
Let's just call the whole thing off. Let me make sure my settings aren't harming us.
Oh, God.
No, it should be good. All right.
Oh, God.
We still got a
I always
time.
get like this for the last 10 seconds.
They got to watch that video. We got that video playing at the very beginning, and then there's the...
Somebody slap me. Tom, come here and slap me.
Pow!
Fucking love you.
Luckily, this is going to. Then we got that cool intro you worked on. Look at this dude. This guy is so rude. Oh! Boom! Right in the kisser.
Hell yeah. Fuck him.
Yeah! I did it at the wrong time.
Thank you.
I'll give it to you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Hey! How's the buffering, everybody? Also, welcome to Sunday Mass. What do you have to say about that video, that living statue thing?
I'm still reveling in my joke that I decided to go with, so you have to give me a second. It was good. I would have punched the guy too.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than, well, there is one thing worse than a wet willy. Absolutely.
Nazis.
Being tickled. No, Nazis
Oh,
are
okay.
under being tickled.
Being tickled
Absolutely.
is such a weird thing. Like, just the concept of, like, I'm going to come at you and agitate your fear response, but it's cute. Maybe we'll make out at the end. I don't know. That's always been strange to me.
It's not a fear response. I don't get fearful when I get tickled. I laugh uncontrollably, and 9 times out of 10, I will piss myself.
I think that actually, I could be wrong here, but I thought they actually did like a study, and that the reason why you laugh is actually an extreme fear response because you're totally incapacitated or something.
They also did a study that said that drinking 1 glass of red wine every night is the same as doing an hour in the gym. Sometimes they're
Nobody did that
retarded
study.
on
You
their
just made that
studies.
up. But they've done some studies.
That is true.
They've done some studies on Jilly Juice.
No, that's true. That is an absolutely true statement. There is a study that says you can drink a glass of red wine, and it's the equivalent of doing 60 minutes in the gym. That is honest. That is honest. That is a real thing.
I think it has to be like way more specific. Like the same number of the same amount of antioxidants you get is the equivalent of the antioxidants you burn off. Because there's no way someone's making the case that if you drink a glass of red wine, it's as though you've done 60 minutes of exercising. That can't be.
I'm gonna look it up.
Like as far as
gonna look it up.
benefits to your muscles, to your heart, all that jazz.
It says now, science has shown that a glass of red wine is equal to a workout at the gym. Researchers at Canada's University of Alberta shows red wine holds the same amount of a natural compound resveratrol as nuts grapes, which when tested on mice improved their physical performance, heart function, and muscle strength, that of 1 hour of exercise in a gym.
I don't believe it. And
I don't either. Of course you don't believe it. It's bullshit.
Certainly the thing, because when you say that it's the same as an hour in the gym, you assess more than just whatever that stuff was. Fine, maybe we are not receiving any data from your encoder. What? Are we back? Now we're on? Never mind. Okay. I don't know why. Let me know how the connection is in the live chat when you get a second. But it's certainly, you don't have, like, one of the benefits of going to the gym for an hour is you burn anywhere from 300 to 1,200 calories depending on the intensity of your workout. I don't think they're saying that you can't get that benefit from it. But it's weird that they think that the muscle improvement thing is weird.
Depends on what kind of drunk you are. I mean, if you're the drunk that kind of goes crazy and rages out, you probably burn more than that.
The fear response makes a little bit of sense, though, don't you think? Like, what is actually funny about being rapidly touched that makes you laugh?
It's a kind of slow torture. I still don't know if that I'll categorize it as fear, though. I'm never fearful when I'm aggravated. I'm annoyed. I'm pissed off. I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I don't think we're both incorrect.
Don't fuck with living statues. It's not okay.
Yeah.
Also, I agree with the thing I definitely agree with you on is wet willies are in, like, it's way up there on my list of I will punch you in the face if you give me a wet willy. I don't like anything in my ears. Like, to those on my channel who know this already,
I love having my ears bit.
You like hot. The low bit, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. That's totally different. I had on 2 occasions ants crawl into my ears, and since then I just can't have stuff in my ears.
What about pickle in your ear?
Ooh, would I put a pickle in my ear? Huh. You could dry out your ear that way, right? Adding all that salt and vinegar. I wouldn't like
Sure.
That. I don't even like, every now and then I get like a blockage of earwax, and I'll put hydrogen peroxide in there, and that's not a fun experience for me. We should probably move on to the actual show, though, right?
I thought we were doing that. This is not. Okay. Sure. Hey.
Let's talk about our videos of the week. Mine's super simple. I did a review of the book Fear, Trump in the White House by Bob Woodward over on my channel. It was a lot of fun, and it's a lot of fun to see the comments after of people who are just clearly, they just love them some Trump. That's been enjoyable.
Well, those are idiots, and you ignore those comments.
Yeah.
But also, you're kind of a social justice warrior, so it's a unique kind of.
This week I'm back to being an SJW.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you took a week off.
Yeah, yeah. Didn't I have your guys on this last Sunday? Which is not something the SJW community was happy with me for. I got a lot of flack
No,
for
but
that.
you act like a total SJW.
I got a lot of flack for that. Are you shitting me? If they can't handle
Did you
that
really?
level of questioning, yeah, I did. I've gotten lots of
You got flack for that?
yeah,
Wait a minute.
yeah, yeah.
What kind of flack did you get for having?
Basically, people who thought I shouldn't have shared my platform with them.
Oh,
I told
for
you.
crying out
I
loud!
told you.
People,
Yeah, yeah.
listen. Let me talk to your. Let me talk to your. Let me talk to your audience right now, Mr. Atheist fans. Look, sometimes we're going to have conversations that are difficult, and you're not going to like them. You might not like the people, and that's okay. You don't have to like everybody that he has on, but he did a good job of
Thank you.
holding their feet to the fire and keeping them accountable. He didn't let them skate by. You should be proud that he was able to have a conversation with people that you don't like, but in a way that you would like. So you should be applauding Jimmy and not giving him hell.
That said, that also needs to be said to some of your commenters who were like, "Why was Jimmy such an asshole to them?" And this is something we talked about. Like, they can come on the show, but it's not going to be promo only. But I did agree to a directive of I won't be overly combative. So had I been in full debate mode, would have been a totally different thing. But I sort of agree
Yeah,
with the sentiment of I'm not going to be sharing my platform with them a ton. I don't know that it'll ever happen again, in fact, but I wouldn't be opposed to having them back on. However, it's going to
sure,
be the same thing. If they say something that I just vehemently disagree with, like Black Lives
sure.
Matter is a supremacist group, they're going to hear it back. But I'm all for having the
Yeah,
discussions. I'm kind of,
I have
I
people
was,
tell me all the time that all the time. It seems like once a week there'll be somebody that says, "What are you doing giving this person a platform?" or "What are you doing
yeah,
giving that person a platform?" Well, that's the point. You have hard conversations with people that you don't necessarily agree with,
right.
and you try to get to the to the heart of the matter and see where you can change each other's minds. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But you still have to have the conversation.
I do still think there's a line, and we talked about this on the show, though. Like, at a certain point, you don't need to invite back Jaronism anymore. I mean, that's your channel. I'm not actually saying that we've passed that line, but at a certain point, everything's been refuted, and at this point, all they can do is platform build. For example, years ago, people were having the debate about Richard Dawkins' things of not wanting to debate creationists, and Bill Maher's point back to him was, I disagree. As long as they have this much power, you have to engage them in debate. And that's kind of the
Correct.
thing. Like, the MythCon guys still have a lot of power in the community. I disagreed with a
Correct.
lot of the ways they handled it, and I'm glad that the person they had to answer my questions was literally the person to whom they had to answer my questions was actually me. Now,
Sure.
again, I wouldn't mind a much more heated debate, but I had fun.
I
It was
think
fun.
that I think the cutoff is when their ideas are harmful. Like
Yeah.
Richard Spencer, I would never platform Richard Spencer as long as their ideas aren't harmful. If they're just weird or they're just crazy and loopy, I think you should have the discussion. Maybe you can change their mind, or maybe there are people. I look at it for there are people that are sitting on the fence watching it. Like they may, that there are people that feel the same way they do. So you're not really trying to reach that person. You're trying to
Right.
reach the people out there that are sort of on the fence,
To tell
and
you the
that's what
truth,
I shoot for.
I wouldn't even say harmful ideas are my line because for example, I think some of the ideas that the MythCon guys had, especially the ones we talked about during Sunday Mass, not necessarily the part about the event itself, I could call some of those ideas harmful. I don't know if harmful is my line. Like, a type of harmful for sure. If they were using their platform to say, hey, go to my website because we're going to start that genocide next year and we need as many soldiers as possible, absolutely, that's a clear and obvious line. I'm not so sure I wouldn't debate Richard Spencer because he makes a lot of claims that are
Mm,
scientific and need to be debunked. But the
mm.
format would matter to me, and I certainly wouldn't invite him onto my channel and let him finish with a, hey, we've got this white con coming up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's just a line for me. Race is a
yeah.
line. When you're that horrible of a human being, I don't think you deserve the light of day. And that's no matter what you claim. There's no way I would toe the race line. No way.
See, I don't know. It would be a hard decision for me to make. I could see a scenario in which I would. They talk about sunlight's the best disinfectant, and I'm going to once again steal an observation
Bah,
made by Bill
bullshit.
Maher. But look at Charlottesville. Look what happened last year in Charlottesville. Obviously a terrible tragedy. Separate from that, they let them have their white supremacist march, and then they did
Sure.
it again a year later, and it went from
Sure.
hundreds in attendance to a dozen because of all the sunlight.
Yeah, but I don't think that's because they let Richard Spencer talk. I think that's because they saw what happened, the horrendous things that happened, and you have to allow that because the government can't come in and shut them down. That's a government
Right.
issue. But when you put people like Richard Spencer in front of an audience, you're going to risk him reaching somebody out there
Right.
that's watching him. You may have everybody that stacks up against him, but there's somebody that he's going to be speaking to that he's going to inspire and motivate,
Right.
and cause them to be like, oh well, he's right. Why is it like this? So if you just cut him off
Yeah.
from the get-go and don't give him that opportunity, then you're a lot better off, I think.
That's definitely the value lost. So you have to balance that with the value of Richard Spencer says the phrase, white people are more intelligent. Please go ahead and clip that and take me out of context. Richard Spencer makes that, and then someone says, no, that's not true. Here are the statistics, but also here's what we understand about human psychology and environment, blah, 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 where a person's actually rebutting because he's got some level of platform, he's got some reach. What is the value of challenging it? And it's like the Ken Ham Bill Nye debate. Everyone who was already on Ken Ham's side thinks Ken Ham won. Everyone who was already on Bill Nye's side thinks Bill Nye won. But the undecided people it seems like from the stuff I saw after the debate, to have gone with Bill Nye did win. And because he won the debate, the net effect was less creationists, not more creationists. It's a hard hard
this is a, like, to me though, if you're on the fence about racism, then fuck you anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think it's still not worth trying to risk giving that piece of shit a soapbox to preach on.
Right.
And it's just it's all subjective, opinions.
Right. And I'm somewhat empathetic to people with terrible ideas because I used to have terrible ideas, but also I sort of think like I am so lucky to not have been born with, say, what we traditionally call like the conspiracy theorist mindset. All you have to do is convince them that somebody's not telling them something, or that there's something exciting they can know and mainstream won't agree with them, and they'll go with it. And so it's like,
Sure.
I feel, I see people that are racist, or I see people that are sexist, and I see people that are terrible. And I think that's not just about myself, but everybody, that if circumstances were different, I could be that person. I don't think I was born with a brain that would have escaped Mormonism in every scenario. I did in my current life, luckily, but I don't think that was in any way genetically predestined. So I have some level of empathy for people with bad ideas, and that's why my line for what I'm never going to engage is a little low.
Bad ideas is one thing. Racism is a completely different. I don't know. It's just, that's something close to me. Like, I don't tolerate
I'm not
discriminating
trying to
against people. Oh, I know you're not.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that everybody has their line, and that's because you hate a group of people just because you're a different color. I never understood that. Never will understand that, and I don't sympathize with people who feel that way. I think that I'm a pro punch Nazis person. I think if you're a Nazi, you deserve to be punched. Period.
I guess the summary is I don't have a yes or no hard line on anything you can tell me hypothetically until it's at my door and I make a decision, like, say, debating Richard Spencer, until somebody gives me the debate. And even then, after the debate, I might come and say it was a mistake to have had that debate and I shouldn't have done it. It is tough. Certainly racism is amongst the worst ideas humans have ever had. Unfortunately, racists still have power, which is why I'm a little worried about never engaging. Boy, what a fun, weird, did you guys enjoy that for the first? I actually loved this discussion. I just don't know how great it is for the people watching. So we'll get to the funny stuff, I guess. Do you have anything you wanted to add on the tail there?
No. Were you still talking about Trump and
so I reviewed a book. If you want to go see my review, the book came out Tuesday. It's really good. It reads really well. I kind of gave some of the things I took out of it and some of my favorite things to hear. To all the people wondering, like, if I'm just accepting it as gospel, of course I think any of it could be wrong. However, The accounts in that book, first of all, are extremely consistent with the things that have been leaking all along. You can also kind of tell who the people are that he's getting the stories from, but he doesn't ever declare it directly because that's part of the agreement. But it certainly, a lot of it's consistent. A lot of it makes pieces fall into place. But obviously, all of the whole story is basically a narrative built off of other people saying, I was there and this is what happened. So, of course, errors could happen. But to say, there's a lot of people going in and being like, well, if it's so true, how come all of the top people in the book that are quoted have come out and said they're false? The guys literally around Trump, gee, I wonder why they would. He's not known to be petty and fire people on a whim at all.
People say, what do you wager that one of the sources, and this got some backing actually this weekend, but I thought this for a while with Ann Coulter. She said it about a New York Times article, but she believes that that scathing New York Times article about him last week came from Jared Kushner. And I would be willing to bet anything that he is one of the ones that is leaking things in the White House.
Yeah, leaking definitely. I definitely think he's leaking. So I had a few opinions on this. There's a good case to be made for Mike Pence's chief of staff, and I can't remember the guy's name. But now I don't want to think that because Omarosa came out and said she's sure it's him, so maybe I don't want to side with Omarosa ever. I had from the beginning thought it was probably John Kelly, and after reading this Bob Woodward book, I kind of think even more that it's John Kelly.
I'm sure. I think it's a combination of a lot of them. I think they all see like how horrible he is and are doing this just because the guy is a son of a bitch to work for. Right. And that to get back at him, probably there are just some days where they're just like, you know what, motherfucker?
Yeah.
That's it. And they snap and they leak a story, and that's their little way of getting revenge.
Not even revenge, sometimes just to prevent it, like something from happening. But remember, too, it says in the letter, this isn't a Republican versus liberal issue. This is the Republicans who are around him who love his stances on a lot of things, immigration and stuff, but know how volatile he is and how ready he is to bankrupt the economy, go to nuclear war, who literally just go, look, sometimes we have to take papers off of the Resolute desk to make sure he doesn't sign them, because if you take the paper, he'll forget we were doing it anyway.
Totally believe that. And he doesn't have a position. That's the thing when they say that they side with Trump. His policies and his views on things shift like the wind.
Yep.
He is all for what seems popular at that particular time. You can go back and you can take one position that he's come out on recently, go back a couple years, he's done the complete opposite. I mean, he is why this man is liked like he is baffles me and just blows my mind. I don't get it.
And remember that this businessman, that everybody liked him because he's a businessman who supposedly understands the economy like nobody else, doesn't understand why we ever have to borrow money or need to pay off money when we could just print money. And his directive and solution to things was just go print more money. Does not understand why that's a problem.
That's not the biggest thing for me. The biggest amusement I get is hearing people say this. When you ask somebody, why do you like Trump? Why did you vote for Trump? Well, he's the only person that tells it like it is. He tells it like it is. No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
He lies about everything. Yeah. He's the one person, the one candidate that you can guarantee will never, ever tell it like it is.
Right.
They like him because he sounds like he's, shooting off the cuff and, he's
everything
speaking for the people.
Thinks.
But he's not.
Exactly. Okay, sorry. Let's talk about Jilly Juice. I'm sorry. I feel like I keep hijacking the show. It's all yours now.
No, it's fine. I just wanted to briefly make some comments about Jilly Juice. She was supposed to come on Tuesday, the day of. I made a joke because her cabbage juice claims that it's supposed to cure, it'll make you regrow limbs, it'll cure cancer, and it cures you being gay. So in the live chat, I made a joke. This was 2 hours before the show started. I said, don't forget, guys, there's still time to send in your dick pics. I'm going to drink the juice, and we're going to hold up these dick pics and see if I still react. By the way, I actually did get submissions for the dick pics for science, but apparently she went into the live chat, read that, and didn't like that too much. Mm-hmm. And she thought that at first, according to her first video, that we were going to actually show dick pics live on the show. She didn't get that it was a joke, so she canceled. And so last minute, I had Jeff Holiday, who is her biggest nemesis and the person that went up against her on Dr. Phil, come in, and we did a show about her and went through her protocol and all this other kind of stuff. That led to her having a complete mental breakdown on Facebook. She posted nonstop videos about us in the show, about Scientist Mel, and it wound up. I don't know if you saw it. There's a Pathos article that came out, and yeah, it's about her. Facebook banned her. She made several anti-LGBTQ. So you're welcome. Yeah.
Here's the thing that I find the strangest. Every time I see one of her videos, she's talking about Jilly Juice and basically like attacks people because they age, and that they're aging because they're not on Jilly Juice. Like, that's a big recurring thing. She attacks people for aging at all. That girl's aged, right? She has. Now, I will say on Dr. Phil, she looked rather good on Dr. Phil. Yeah, Dr. Phil is a professional team of makeup artists.
But here's the thing. This is the thing about Jilly Juice, and this is why this is a good thing. Like, people like her deserve to be platformed because she is messing with people's lives. She's endangering people's lives. There was a image that somebody posted this past week in response to one of these videos where it was a lady who had just found out about Jilly Juice, and she put a picture of her son, and then the caption above the picture was, "I just started tube feeding my handicapped son Jilly Juice's protocol." So these people are like feeding a child through a tube this solution that is deadly. And so people like that shouldn't have a platform, I don't feel, that promotes this kind of stuff.
It's gross.
Yes, that was it. I did get dick pics, though, for science research. I went through them thoroughly.
The reply video?
Oh, sure, yeah. This is Scientist Mel following the show on Tuesday. You should really check her out. She's amazing.
Why is it not playing?
Oh no, that's the ice
wrong
sculpture.
Video is playing. Yeah, hang on, let me fix that. Okay, that's fixed. Now let me cue. All right, here we go. Yeah, that part's pretty funny, that she claims to be a scientist.
Well, while this is playing too, let me she attacked Scientist Mel's credentials, right? And she screenshotted her going to a child's website, typing in how to be a scientist, and it lists all of these, like, for kids, for criteria to be a scientist, and her caption was, "See, anybody can claim to be a scientist." Yeah. Not only that, but on her in her book, in her sources, she references the times that she had to look up words. So there was a certain word she didn't know, and when she went to look it up, she cited that as a source in her book. She cited Paul Revere as a source in her book, which pointed to a Wikipedia page, because she made an analogy saying that something to do with, like, that's like turning over Paul Revere to the Redcoats and letting them capture him. She cited the Wikipedia page in an analogy about.
She also
people follow this though.
She also thinks that she's like Tesla being suppressed by J.P. Morgan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And if you haven't seen that article, guys,
go check it out.
Definitely go check that out. Katie Paulson did a amazing job on that, and she's actually going to be on the show. Maybe Jilly will follow through again.
And make
I
sure
doubt
to
she
follow
will,
Scientist Mel, because she's going to make a video that
Yeah.
replies to everything. But yeah, the stuff is 2 people
Yeah.
suffered mini strokes after drinking her stuff.
one
28,000
person.
milligrams of sodium if you do the day. Oh man! All right.
I will say though, she is right in that it cures homosexuality, because with that amount of explosive diarrhea, there's no way anything's going up there. So, and in that sense, it does
Weight
stop
loss.
the gay.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and you'll lose weight. Diarrhea is a surefire way to lose weight.
You'll also die. So if you want to be skinny and dead, Jilly Juice is the way to go.
Yep. All right. Well, this week. Go ahead.
Today's National Virgin Day, and I wrote down a couple of tips. I just want to get through a couple of them. Number one, if you're a virgin, here's the way that you can fix that: brush your teeth, stop playing Pokemon Go, keep anime to yourself.
Kyle.
Yes.
National Virginia Day.
Oh, okay. All right. So, to celebrate National Virginia Day, start brushing your teeth.
Okay.
Don't play Pokemon Go, and keep anime to yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't think anybody's watching anime in Virginia.
I hope not.
I'm going to take those to heart no matter which one of the days it was. Yeah, it is.
Virginia is for lovers.
It is National Virginia Day. Also this week was National Live Creative Day, which so we have some creative people and their videos to share with you. And this is an amazing part of, this is like my favorite part of any ice sculpture. I don't know if you guys have watched people ice sculpt, but they'll make these big things, but then they have to remove the supports, and that's like the moment of truth. We'll go back here. So you can see he cuts off the back one, and then he starts working on the one underneath her.
Why do they do that, Jimmy?
Why do they take the supports off?
Yeah.
Cleaner look. That's actually, so that was something I was thinking about, like, why not just leave them up? But
right.
Cleaner look, I think, is the deal. I think they probably do some basic level physics and engineering to make sure that, like, they probably went in and they did all the weight distribution and ice density and everything to make sure that this would be able to handle when they come.
Well, I'm going to assume we're not watching this because it's a beautiful ending. So probably should have left the supports on. Oh yeah.
That broke my heart to see.
How's that ice density and balance working now for you?
The physics didn't line up.
No. Leave them supports on.
Shall we watch the moment of Zen again? I wonder if it's actually, though, because look where it breaks first. Do you think it actually lost the support, or do you think that the resonance of the chainsaw caused it to crack?
I'm looking at it now, and it's obviously heavier on one end. I mean, look at how.
That's obviously true, yeah.
Look at, I mean, obviously, and if I'm not mistaken, that's where it cracks first. So obviously, that's going to be an issue. Probably.
I mean, just because it's heavier on one end doesn't mean that the support structure couldn't support both, but because it doesn't like teeter over.
Well, that side falls first.
Yeah, it definitely does. But do you notice where the crack actually comes up?
On that side, yeah.
Yeah.
Once you remove that support, watch.
Right at the waist.
As soon as he removes that support, it popped right there at the middle where the pressure is going down.
I think they probably thought they had the math worked out, and they didn't have the math worked out.
Let me tell you something. I am not one that knows very much about physics or ice density or anything like that, but I can just look at that and say, you probably shouldn't take that support off. It looks heavier on one side.
Now,
gravity.
You want to talk about living creatively? This guy, he made the world's biggest Jenga tower.
The structure that I really want to show you is right over here.
God, hello, 1992.
And, he's going to tell us a little bit about this 4x3 structure.
Well, it's, as you can see, the Leaning Tower of Pisa. It's about 12,000 blocks.
That is beautiful.
It took over 2 weekends to build, and I'm really excited because next week.
God, get another hobby. 2 weekends
Guinness
on that.
The World Records team are going to come to evaluate it, and I'm really looking forward to that.
He's a good-looking guy. I'm sure he's got.
Okay, here's my question, number one. Who the fuck still walks around with a microphone with a cable on it?
Yeah. I think this might be fake. And I'll tell you why. If I actually skipped this part on purpose. Look when he first goes over to the guy.
It's Brian Varney. Brian.
Careful that cord there.
Brian is
And number
1990
two,
graduate.
this is the world's worst like anchorman or host or whatever he is. He literally just walked up off the side and went straight in like we knew what was happening here. There was no, hey, how's it going? Or welcome back to blah, blah, blah. It's just, hey, I'm here with Brian. Of course, if you are spending your weekend with a dude that spent 2 weekends building a Jenga tower, I wouldn't be too happy either.
You don't send your best guy for that.
No.
Have you ever seen the guy who I can't remember what school it was for, but he basically did a show on the college's closed circuit TV, and it was like trying to give kids tips on food they could make in their dorm. And he'd be like, "Hi, Wildcats. We're going to make some nachos today. So first you open this can of nacho cheese." And he's just so dry, and it's kind of wonderful. It reminds me of this guy a lot.
I haven't seen that. But here's my question too. If this is fake, then who was the poor guy that had to build this tower of 12,000 pieces, knowing that it was just going to get wiped down by douchebag's long mic cord?
My theory is he actually built the tower and he actually set the world record. And once they got everything done, they were like, "Hey, do you guys want to have I think they set it up as a joke. Like, "Hey, it's time to destroy this thing. Do you guys want to?" And I think they thought it was going to be a lot funnier than it was. But the fact is, the dry delivery actually kind of ruined it. For me.
It does. They could have done so much better with this.
Yeah.
Epic fail.
Sometimes,
Epic fail.
Sometimes you want somebody to fail who's got a little charisma, like this guy.
Yeah, that Jenga tower has more charisma.
Here? They were telling me this is one of your prized
I love this.
Possessions.
Oh, yeah. This is a Baracus cherub. It's actually been a very tough piece to do. We've been working on it for about 8 hours right now. We still got quite a ways to go on it. It's a beautiful piece when we'll be done.
Now, can I take a closer look at this? Because why is this your oh my God. Yeah. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry.
So
Dude,
fake.
Are you serious?
I think so too. Everybody watch. There's a couple of things to watch for. First of all, right here, you can see the guy is supporting with his hand the ice sculpture, that it has to be held up from the back. To me, indicating that if you even just let go, it'll probably fall backwards. And then you see,
not only that, but watch the anchor's hand when he goes. Yeah. He actually pushes it.
Gives it a little nudge. Oh, come on.
Full piece when we'll be done.
Now, can I take a closer look at this? Because why is this your oh my God.
That was a clear push.
I am so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Dude, are you serious?
I'm so sorry. It was just an accident.
Also, the guy's series of reactions don't match up. He's like,
right.
And then he throws the thing down and then comes up. Dude, are you serious? Like,
how hard is it to get people that can act or that can sell this?
But watch this. I like this.
We'll get this taken care of.
I just imagine the Curb Your Enthusiasm music right about here.
Anyway, with a smile on my face, we'll send it back to you, Ed and Ann.
As it zooms in on the guy. Oh, poor guy.
What a waste.
Have you ever noticed these ads, or they always do the thumbnails for the new bloopers, and they always try to make it look like it's like a pretty attractive woman who slips a titty or something.
That's smart advertising.
It's brilliant, but the titty's never in there. Like,
of course not.
I'll bet you that lady's probably never even in the episode.
Do you know how many people, though, just because it looks like there's going to be titty in there, are going to click it? I mean, how many half-brained morons? Do you know? I bet you can name 5 people that you would consider just a complete moron.
Yeah. Well, I shouldn't on
They click those.
They might be watching.
They click those.
It'll be. Can I just list off some of the people who leave comments? All right. So also this week was National TV Dinner Day. And I wanted to bring everyone a blast from the past. And also, I'm a little like, I'll explain after, but I'm a little nostalgic for this day. Let's.
Wow. Say, you gals think you're lucky you can get Swanson TV turkey dinners, but I say Swanson TV turkey dinners are a bigger break for husbands. Now, you take me. I can be early, I can be late, I can bring pals to
I sped it up because I think he goes a little too slow, but if this is too much, you gotta let me know.
dinner anytime I please, and get this, my wife never panics. She just takes Swanson TV turkey dinners from the freezing compartment of our refrigerator when I'm a little
You can tell this would never sell today.
And right you are, Jack.
No, absolutely.
And that is because Mary Lou knows that she can have a swell dinner ready in just 25 minutes. Right. And talk about
just
easy.
25
Well, she just
minutes?
pops Swanson TV turkey dinners in a hot oven. You know, they're oven ready in individual heat and serve trays. With Swanson TV turkey dinners, you just heat and serve, and you serve
Jimmy.
Yeah.
We're triggering feminists like crazy tonight,
So
because you know this would never go down today's world.
And
Never.
it shouldn't. That's not a. I mean, today's world should go look at that and go, how come they're only talking about the wife cooking the meal?
Not only that, but it shouldn't go down today because who would want to eat a TV dinner from 1960?
Well, I kind of do. Not literally. Oh, do you mean like it's literally been waiting in the freezer that long?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why this commercial would never work today.
See, the thing I like about this is all TV dinners, as far as I know, TV dinners are all microwave now, and I actually like way prefer the consistency of. So I was like looking back, I was like, that's kind of dope that they used to have the oven ones. It takes some time, but you cook the whole thing at once, and you're
big and hearty slices of moist, tender Swanson turkey with grand giblet gravy and special cornbread dressing.
To be fair, though,
whipped sweet potatoes.
To be fair,
yeah.
What's the ingredients for that TV dinner is a lot different than the ingredients that you're going to get from today's TV dinner. That was back in the era of where food was actually not processed the way that it is now. You didn't have all the chemicals and shit in it. These were probably went bad very quickly. Right. That looks like real food. The TV dinners that you get now will literally cause you to grow like 3 heads.
Unless you drink Jilly Juice.
Correct. Well, you can drink that to counteract it, but that's a completely different TV dinner than what you get now.
But they do bring up something else about the 60s that wasn't great literally right now.
With golden Swanson butter. And garden fresh peas with more butter.
They loved their butter back then. It was on everything.
Butter isn't that bad for you.
A stick of meal isn't great, though.
Of course. Nobody's going to eat a stick of meal, but it's not as bad as what was once thought. Fat is not the enemy.
People don't understand that fats don't cling onto your body like fats do.
Sugar is the enemy.
And, God, it's such a delicious enemy. I'm literally cutting out sugar right now, which means I'm drinking a lot of LaCroix. Come at me, Internet. It's so tough.
What is LaCroix?
Here's my kiwi strawberry LaCroix. It's just club soda, basically, sparkling water. But LaCroix does a really good job at, they call it naturally essenced. There's enough flavor in there that if you're craving something sugary, at least for me, I won't say it takes the craving away, but it occupies my craving, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But people think it's like a super hipster drink, so.
Got it. SJW.
Saying LaCroix, no, well, I wouldn't. Hipsters and SJWs are pretty distinctly different, I think. Saying LaCroix is a bit like admitting I also ate avocado toast today.
Of course.
More that area.
Makes sense now. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. People are saying they hate LaCroix. Have you tried all the flavors? They're delicious. Super chat, your favorite flavor of LaCroix. I'm a money whore. Anyway. Oh, wait, I don't want to. I was going to skip forward.
Lucky me. My wife.
You have to see the technology these people had back then. Check it out. So they have multiple things they want to display. What's up?
Oh, because I see that Casey is in the live chat.
Yeah.
I announced it last night on Steve's channel too. But congratulations to Casey and Godless Engineer for putting a ring on it.
Yeah.
We love you. We are so very proud.
I thought you were going to congratulate her because you guys are going to interview that porn star. But yes, absolutely. Congratulations. That's a big
yeah, I wouldn't break in for a... Oh, man, that's funny. You think I'm that shallow?
I don't know. Can I interview her? Congratulate me.
Sure.
I'm coming then.
No, but really, congratulations to both of you guys.
Yeah.
I am the maid of honor, obviously.
Hell yeah.
But I'm just kidding.
Well, now I'm upset.
Proceed.
I thought you meant it. But check out the
wife uses Swanson TV turkey dinners. And make your husband lucky, too. Get Swanson TV turkey dinners, Swanson TV fried chicken dinners, Swanson TV beef dinners from your grocer's big freezer.
And you just know... You just know... Oh, I'm excited to see what this ad is. You just know that it was a guy on the other side manually moving the turntable. Like, they didn't have any rotor going. There's no
But you know, back then, that was the cat's meow. You know, they thought they were the... That was a saying, right? The cat's meow? Yeah.
It's a saying. Yeah. Okay. Wait, what was the cat's meow? I thought you were going to elaborate. That's all I was
No, I'm saying back then when they saw this commercial, they're like, oh, man, look at that turntable. It looks like the cat's meow.
Yeah. People back then were impressed. They were getting on their 9-inch television and going, holy cow, look at that resolution, first of all.
Well, they were saying, honey, if you weren't too busy making my sandwiches for tomorrow, you should see this technology they got on this commercial.
That was so crazy, too, because it wasn't even just, he was like, if I come home and I'm in a rush because some of my buddies are over, I don't worry. I just tell my wife to get the fuck to work. Like, nowadays it'd be like, I pop some pizza rolls in the microwave, but I just tell my wife.
McDonald's.
Oh, man. It's so good. I'm sorry, everybody. I love McDonald's. Somebody asked, what's up, ad homos? That's going to be the only non-super chat I read. I'm just kidding, but...
Ad homos.
It's expensive.
That's actually appropriate.
I get it.
Yeah. We'll take it.
Let's
C for original.
Told Gregory to leave Aspen with the au pair for the Zane cruise, but he insisted that everyone come along. They gave Aspen the most adorable baby.
I'm already kind of bored with it.
Yeah.
This is amazing. I'm also going to play this on quick.
This morning we saw Gordon standing in front of a table with different little appetizer type thingies, and I had no clue what was going on.
Slightly different this morning. Sit down. Ladies, on my left, Chef Ramsay has prepared what appears to be a
So I feel like we should set this up before, so people know what. And I've done this because my years being a chef, I've had to actually be a part of taking this test and administering this test. And basically, what it is when you hire people, and you're in a like a finer dining type restaurant, you want to make sure that the people that are working either under you or with you or your chefs, they have a good palate. So you want to make sure that they're able to identify flavors blindfolded and without thinking about it. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to feed them something, a bit of food, and you're hoping that they're able to identify what that particular flavor is.
And I love these kinds of things. Like, you hear about it with wine a lot, that people who are professional wine tasters. Now, in this scenario, with wine, it's that there isn't really a difference. That professional wine tasters, if they don't know that they are being tested, can't identify an expensive bottle of wine versus boxed wine.
Correct.
This food is different, and this is hilarious. And
what pisses me off about wine... Oh,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No.
I was just going to say, what pisses me off about wine... sommeliers is when they go overboard. Like, you don't taste oak and cherry wood and hints of, like, no, you don't taste that. You do not taste that.
The farmer's wife was pregnant.
Right. Yeah. You don't taste that. It's bullshit. You're being a snobbish con artist.
Absolutely.
It tastes like, you can either say like sweet, savory, those kind of things, but not cherry and oak and and cedar. Just shut up.
And if you could actually taste those things, the first thing they'd always say is, since a ton of wine is made in California, you'd first be like, the acid rain was light this year.
Yep.
But plenty of methane.
Yep.
But you can't actually taste those things.
Right. And nobody says the first thing that everybody should taste in wine, that's grapes. You never hear anybody say grapes.
I don't like wine very much, but it's probably from the same part of my tongue that hates pickles. Whenever I drink, especially red wine, just tastes like vinegar to me.
I love wine.
I know. I can handle some champagne here and there, a little bit of rosé, but no, I'm not into it. Anyway,
you probably drink yours from a box, don't you?
So they're going to test. I just don't drink wine. Oh, also, I don't drink anymore at all, but there's that. I was more of a whiskey guy in my day. It was either like all the way to whiskey, though I also liked honey whiskey, so I won't pretend it was all like manly man whiskey, but I also really liked girly drinks too.
Mm-hmm.
So Mike's Hard, it's always refreshing. Anyway, so they're going to taste test. Gordon Ramsay's taste testing these professional chefs' palates.
What I want to talk about is taste.
What the aspiring chefs don't know is that all of these dishes are fake.
So I put together some fondue.
Actually, it's sway on cheese.
Pate.
It's really crushed hot dogs.
By the way, that fondue looks good as melted cheese, and I'm totally open to trying some cheese with fondue. If anybody wants to, like... Anyway, and I'll dip some hot dog pate into it.
Caviar.
Mock
Oh,
caviar.
God.
Cafe.
Oh,
And just like a meat sort of bruschetta, almost like a kebab.
Yeah, those are from a TV dinner.
We don't deserve to be eating caviar this time of morning. However, just taste.
After such a horrible night of...
He might say
why do
this
people eat
already,
caviar?
But, so caviar, it doesn't taste very good, but some people think it does. But I think he might mention it later. But I remember learning about this at a fish market in New York. They will give you catfish eggs. They're considered so gross and like not... They're so rotten and shit. Like, you can go to any market and they will give it away.
Ugh.
service chefs presenting me with caviar.
Every time you put something in your mouth, you got to know what you're eating. Who's tasted the fondue?
I have. It's nice and thick. Coat your mouth. Nice.
I feel like you can't help but taste the hot dogs, though. Like, that's the one thing that I feel like everybody should be able to pick out because it's a universal... Yeah, it's a universal thing.
But you do have to remember this girl specifically who's talking about how the fondue is.
It's nice and thick. Coat your mouth. Nicely sharp, creamy.
Heather, what do you think about the chicken and the pineapple?
I think they taste really good.
Keith, yes, sir. Favorite dish? I like the pate, sir.
He likes the pate.
The stuff I've eaten before tastes like fishy, stinky. That is just amazing.
Originally, I tasted the caviar just by itself.
Amazing caviar. Everything she'd had before was stinky.
What's the moral of this story? That you guys can totally dupe even professional chefs just by, and I've always said this, and this is true, looks are everything when it comes to food. You can, there's a study that was done where they took the same ingredients and they plated it differently. You had the same amounts, it was the same, prepared the same way, and they put it around a plate. One they just kind of put on the plate, one they fixed up very pretty. Every time they picked the one that was fixed up as the one that tasted the best, and they would pay $5 to $6 more on that plate, even though it's the same exact thing. The looks dupe everything.
I definitely think that's a huge part of it. I wonder if especially when you're like serving to other people, I wonder if in this case, if you had put that same spread out and not had Gordon Ramsay in the room, if things would have been a little different. Like, because they think he made this meal and they're trying to satisfy him. And, yeah. I wonder
but
if
that leads to a deeper, like kind of cooler process, I think, because it's all in your head.
Right.
The taste and all of that stuff, it's all in your mind. You create the dish in your head. So there's a psychology behind it that's fascinating.
Yeah. I don't think they were lying that they thought it was delicious.
Right.
I think because of the psychology, like you were saying, like the psychology of the situation made them think it was delicious.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
I wasn't really that fond of it, but once you get everything on there, it just comes together.
I don't think any of you around the table this morning have any idea what you've been eating. Scott, please, don't be upset with me. You want everybody to be upset with yourselves. So, the fondue was a spray cheese. The kebabs, bruschetta, was a TV dinner. My pate was made out of crushed hot dog. And this bit here, we have a catfish, the mock fake caviar. They give it away, you can't even buy it. Here, you want to kill yourself? Take some fake caviar. No.
Look how mad she is.
I was taking it seriously.
Yeah.
And he was like,
but also, this is a double tie-in. This was TV dinner week, but remember what else it was? Look at her name.
Okay, listen, Virginia, brush your teeth, stop playing Pokemon Go, and keep anime to yourself. These are surefire ways.
I brush my teeth. I don't watch anime, though I have in the past, but I will fight you about Pokemon Go.
I don't think so.
When's
the last time you've been laid? Next.
Unrelated.
Next.
No. It's not long ago. But I don't kiss and tell. But you should go. You should check out. You should check out on the 22nd, I think, next Saturday. They're doing a community day where they do these raid days. Lots of people show up, and a lot of them are very attractive people.
Ask them when they've been laid. I'm not saying that virgins can't be attractive, Jimmy.
I think you'd be surprised, but I enjoy me some Pokemon
listen,
Go.
I'm just here to try to help.
Actually,
okay,
quick,
if you take my advice,
if
you take my advice, that's fine.
Sorry, I'm pulling up Pokemon Go. It's the Kanto event. I want to make sure I don't miss any Poliwags. Okay, let's see this lady.
Haha, it was catfish, hot dogs, cheese in a can, and a TV dinner. Haha. It's embarrassing.
I like that she's mad at him, though. You should be embarrassed because you're a chef who can't tell the difference between fondue and Cheese Whiz, but you're mad at him because he played the joke.
Yeah.
That tastes good. It's made out of hot dogs. Hot dogs is slamming. Now I know where we are. You all have
Hot dogs.
backsides, and we have got some work to do.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Very strange. All right, now we get into okay, look, let's say Jimmy finally does get laid. We would all consider that a miracle, right? So we're actually going to transition into things that are miracles that were... What?
I don't talk about my personal life much, but you know I have a boyfriend, right?
That's what everybody that's not getting laid says.
Oh, okay.
Try again. Try again.
He's from Canada. You just don't know him, you guys. Anyway.
Paying for it doesn't count, Jimmy.
This is why everybody's here, though. This next video is so it's 7 miracles caught on camera that science can't explain. And this is why people are here, for the hard atheisting. Are you ready to get your atheist on?
I have my fedora ready.
Let's do it. Yeah. How's your neck beard? Let's pack the intro, though.
You be the judge. Number 7. Woman drowning in her SUV is miraculously saved. Charlene was rescued from a submerged SUV. The water flooded a Pueblo street and carried the SUV down the road in as much as 2 feet of water.
What kind of water is that?
Muddy water. Also, I want to explain another reason why I'm going fast on some of these videos. I got copyright striked for last week's video that included the Jilly Juice segment from Dr. Phil. Now, I'm disputing it, but they have 30 days to release it, and it's not a full strike. So I guess it's not a strike. I got copyright claimed. They're getting all of the money that could potentially be made from that episode.
Funny enough, it didn't get struck on mine.
Yeah, it didn't get struck on NonSec where it also played. I've challenged it, and I actually don't understand that. It says that they have 30 days to decide to release it. I hope that means if they don't release it in 30 days, it automatically releases. But I don't.
Why don't you just go in and cut that part out and fuck them?
I don't know. I guess I probably could, but the ethics of it all. It's also my favorite part of the episode. Anyway, here we go.
Bystanders swam out to rescue the woman. She was trapped inside the SUV and couldn't swim. All 4 windows were shut tight as it sank. The first to reach her was a doctor. But try as he did, the stick he was beating a window with was no match for the safety glass. And then, the Herrera was gone. Almost a full minute went by before
I
Howard,
will say,
the 33-year-old...
the music in this makes me want to believe.
I know. It was a very cleverly chosen soundtrack. Even
very
played
well
fast,
done.
it's doing fine. This is at 1.5 speed.
Very well done.
Unemployed store manager somehow reached through Charlene's front window and grasped her arm. Absets was able to pull her out of the water.
So remember, we don't actually see anything. He said the miracle is at the last second, her store manager is able to put his hand through the window and pull her out through the window. And
right.
But here the odd part, when the car was towed from the water, all 4 windows were still closed. It is unclear how they opened enough to let her out and then closed again. Those who helped Charlene considered it a miracle.
Okay, so the claim is science wouldn't be able to explain it. Do you want to go first? Because I got some theories. Yeah.
I am going to say that they were able to get the door open, get her out, and when they pulled the car out of the river, the inertia from them pulling it up closed the door back.
Fine. Yeah. It doesn't even need to have been then. It could just be the fact that the water is flowing water. I'm totally down with that theory. My thing about like the materialistic and approach to life is that if you can come up with any natural phenomenon that could have happened that does it, that phenomenon is now infinitely more likely than a supernatural phenomenon. So how about let's go with it was the window. You're waterlogging an electrical device. it is still within the realm of possibilities that that alone caused the window to open and then it electrically shut. I'm not saying that's likely, because a lot of times water is going to cause shorts more than anything else, but that is still infinitely more likely than the window temporarily disappeared and they reached their hand through, and just it's so that science can't explain it is quite.
Did the car have a sunroof?
I didn't see. I think it was a Subaru Forester. Hang on, let's go back.
If it had a sunroof, that would be the likely, because they're not lying when they know that all four.
I don't know.
Why is that door not trying? Oh, okay. This is clearly
a miracle.
Number 5.
No, there are so many different medical conditions that can make someone seem like they're dead. And what kind of doctor are we dealing with? Did they run extensive tests confirming that she was actually 100% dead?
They said
we
science can't explain it. Here's my explanation. She was never dead.
Right.
Yeah. Or somehow she did actually suffer cardiac arrest and then natural resuscitation or delayed resuscitation, and they pronounced her dead during that short period. In the same way, if you drown and somebody resuscitates you, but because she didn't have waters full of lungs. I mean, there's a myriad of. You also have like there are states you can be in that for centuries people have been mistaken for dead. We usually use now tests to verify it, that they haven't stated was the case here, just that a doctor pronounced her dead. But they found like old coffins where you can see people tried to claw their way out and stuff because they had actually gotten super duper drunk and basically went into this like alcoholic coma where your breath is so shallow nobody picks it up. You're same with your heartbeat. That shit happens.
That would be the worst way to go, is to wake up in a coffin alive. But what I also find suspect about this is the way that she's not like, and I guess it depends on your culture, but they're holding this child like she's still like, to me, that's not how you would handle a child at a funeral. You know what I mean? Like, let me watch this.
The girl, whose name has not been at the funeral, an attendee removed the cover of the coffin to arrange the supposed remains, saw the head of the girl move and she was alive.
Oh, okay, I get it now.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, like, she wasn't. Another reason why you don't really worry about that happening today, most people who die are either burned or embalmed. You're not going to survive either of those things.
Right.
Not to mention, that would be a goddamn miracle.
My question would be the length of time between when this child saw that doctor and when this funeral was performed. Yeah. Like, what was the length of time between those two things?
And obviously, I'm convinced.
Okay, the first one, not a miracle. Number 2, miracle.
Okay, so we're 1 for 1. 1 and 1.
Right.
Tiny Lily Grosbeck was trapped in the car for 14 hours after an accident that killed her mother, Jennifer, in Utah. But when local officers arrived, they heard an adult voice asking for help before discovering the unconscious 18-month-old baby strapped in the back seat. It is unintelligible on the footage, but appears to be a plea for help as Officer Jared Warner responds, "We are helping. We are coming."
Right now. Eric, get over here, Bettles. We're helping. We're coming. Eric, get down here and re-entering flipping.
Let me go back. Yeah, okay.
Eric, get over here, Bettles. We're helping. We're coming.
No, you're hearing reverberations.
Eric, get over here, Bettles. We're helping. We're coming.
Single quote, something very odd had just happened, although the...
Or you're hearing the baby. I have no reason to not believe a baby that is upside down can't make a weird voice sound.
Right. Yeah, and it's reverbing from the car.
Yeah.
And they're under a bridge. The echo from that is probably causing that.
Have you ever tried to talk upside down? Like, you don't sound normally there either.
I do every night.
That's
I actually identify as a bat, so when I go to sleep, I hang upside down.
I thought you were going to reveal that the boyfriend I was referring to earlier was you.
Not many people know that about me.
I got laid last.
The emergency responders weren't to realize it at the time. With visibly new urgency, the rescuers turned the waterlogged car onto its side and discovered the 25-year-old driver was long dead. If the mother had died in the initial impact of the crash and the baby was unconscious, whose was the female voice they each swore they had heard coming from the car? One of those policemen, Tyler Beddoes, believes he knows the answer. Lily was saved by a heavenly guardian who had comforted her during that bleak, freezing night in the half-submerged car and then called for help as her life hung in the balance.
So this is one of those things where people use a phrase in one sentence and they rely on you transitioning that phrase to the next one. The mother was long dead. I'll trust that they verified that some way. The baby was unconscious. And you're supposed to trust long moves to the other one, long unconscious. You don't really have a method for testing that. They're just going with the presumption that she went unconscious instantly when the crash happened.
This is an adrenaline thing, and I think everybody was worked up when they saw the child, and when they figured out the child was still alive. This is a good way to look back and retroactively fit a nice, heartwarming story, even though...
My dog, I know this because this has been happening like crazy lately. I keep waking up to my dog keeps trying to howl in her sleep. She's having dreams that are apparently stressful because I keep waking up to... And they're weird because she's laying down. They're not a regular howl, but she's always fine. I wake her up. Yeah, being unconscious doesn't mean you can't make noises when you're stressed out.
And there's another thing too. After I forget how long they said that the mom was dead, but gases and stuff escape the body after you die. So that could be the noises that they hear as well. I mean, there are all kind of reports about people who, especially helicopters or airplanes that transport bodies back and forth. At that altitude, something happens, and they had bodies sit up and
when they push on their abdomen, you'll have a belch.
I would die. I would be the next body right there. But there was somebody in the live chat that made a good point. This heavenly guardian is really picky about who they save and who they don't. That's a good point. Like, why in some cases do you hear stories like these heroic guardian angel stories, but there are others where not a soul was around. Just let them go.
Yeah,
it's only a miracle when somebody's alive.
There's also someone saying we're pulling the explanations out of our ass, and we're not. We're saying as long as I can come up with a material, natural explanation, I don't need to rely on it being a guardian angel. The guardian angel is the pulling it out of the ass, and this says that it cannot be explained by science. Science can explain several ways this could have happened.
Exactly.
Sorry, you're wrong. You burnt.
Eye doctor obvious. Eye doctor obviously incorrect.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Let's pull another explanation of a miracle out of our ass, Jimmy.
Let's do it.
Number 4. Miraculous survival of grandmother and boy from shocking crash in Brazil. Footage has emerged showing Vilma Teodoro do Nascimento and her grandson João Pedro being run over by a white Volkswagen in the town in Goiás in Brazil. In the video, the 5-year-old boy and his grandmother can be seen being caught in the path of the car and going under the vehicle's wheels. But remarkably, the pair only suffered minor injuries in the accident. Number 3.
That's easy.
Holy man in India.
Yeah, well, I mean, or it's simply being run over a car does not mean you have to be dead. I will say it is remarkable that it was only minor injuries, and certainly it is remarkable. You can see, especially for the kid, the amount of time any weight is on them between the two is very short. Also, you can see that they come up onto the curb. Most of the weight on the car will be down below on the lower curb. So it's not, it's again, remarkable. Absolutely.
And there's a thing called adrenaline that kicks in when you're in stressful situations or frightful situations. That kicks in and takes over. It happens a lot when people get shot. There are many examples of people that get shot. They don't realize they've been shot until it's actually pointed out to them. And that's because your brain is on overdrive, and it's just a response. It's something that's built into you. So the kid was probably so terrified that he didn't even realize what happened, got up and ran.
So Eye Doctor Obvious is saying that they don't know what it was either, but they know it wasn't the baby or the mom. No, you don't. You
Get out of
absolutely
here.
do not know it wasn't the
You're
baby
making
or the
shit
mom.
up.
Yeah.
You're making shit up.
That's 100% not true. Even if I grant you the mom died on impact and the baby was unconscious the entire time, you do not know that one of them wasn't responsible for the sound.
Well, let me ask Eye Doctor Obvious. Who do you think it was? Eye Doctor Obvious. And tell us why. We'll wait. Actually, we'll go on to the next miracle, but we'll give you time.
Go for it.
Brazil.
He goes,
And
his response was, I actually read, because he went and found the articles that were longer summaries of, we watched the video. There's nothing. Oh my goodness. There is no method to verify that either of them didn't make. They didn't have cameras on the inside of this thing monitoring them with microphones linked up too. It easily
Let's fix
could
this
be
right.
either of those.
Let's fix this real quick. Eye Doctor Obvious, do you believe in God?
Yeah, Eye Doctor Obvious.
Let's fix this. Let's fix this.
Tell us
Do
what
you
you
believe in
think.
God, Eye Doctor Obvious?
Let's find out. Oh, someone down the river is more likely. He's going with it with someone down the river. In a van down by the river. No?
Sure, fine. Whatever. It was somebody down the river. Okay.
Yeah. He doesn't like that we were saying you can come up with natural materialistic ways that this happened, but he went with a natural materialistic way. Still not a miracle. Hasn't acknowledged that you can still be dead or unconscious and make a sound. I'm sorry,
Here's my
Eye
question.
Doctor. Maybe you're a great guy, but I'm just or girl. I just don't agree with you.
Here's my question. If you say you read articles and stuff, why isn't this somebody down the river the case instead of the guy who actually pulled them out of the car saying it was a voice from inside of the vehicle?
I still
Go
want
ahead,
to see.
Jimmy.
I still want to see his reasoning why it can't be a dead person with. It doesn't even have to be gases. Gases take a while to build up. I don't know how long they were there. It doesn't even have to be gases. It can be literally, if something got damaged, she could be literally ejecting blood and internal bleeding. Stuff can be falling out, which, depending on how long they were alive, can still trigger things like your gag reflex and whatever. I still think the most likely situation is a very uncomfortable, unconscious, upside down baby made a squirming sound.
And here's the bigger issue. Why are we arguing over the cause when none of us know? We're basically, what we're doing is we're giving other explanations for what it could be. We are not falling into the it's a miracle category. And it sounds like if you're going to put forth that it was somebody down the river, you don't identify with the miracle theory.
Like the guy who heard it, he just made a mistake.
A 5-year-old boy and his grandmother can be seen being caught in the path of the car and going under the vehicle's wheels. But remarkably, the pair only suffered minor injuries in the accident.
And I agree it's remarkable. But that's
Sure it is.
Not miraculous. We already talked about this
Right.
one enough.
Number 3. Holy man in India claims he didn't eat or drink for 70 years. A self-proclaimed yogi, 83 years old, Prasadyani is a follower of Hindu goddess Amba. He says that goddess provides him a liquid sustenance which is fed through a hole in his palate, allowing him to live without food and water. Various observational studies of Yanni had been conducted where he was monitored around the clock. He successfully passed all tests showing that he can in fact not ingest food or water, nor did he pass urine or bowel movements for a 15 days long study. Number 2.
Yeah, a 15-day fast is not 70 years.
It was passed through his what? A liquid was passed through
his palate. He has a special hole. So, and keep in mind, that's another big part of it. And if that is the case, that's something that should have been tested and verified too. All they've done to confirm it so far was monitor him for, it sounds like the longest amount of time was 15 days where he didn't pass a bowel movement. Does not prove anything miraculous. And if you could show us this food hole in his mouth, you might have a prayer, though that still wouldn't mean it was a miracle.
But what's miraculous about not eating or drinking for 70 years? I mean, he's missing out on the best things in life, which is food and liquid. That's a complete idiot, not a miracle.
I also just don't believe it happened. I think he's getting.
But so what if it did? That's the lamest miracle ever.
But
it's the lamest miracle ever.
You could still say that's a miracle if you didn't intake any calories or refresh the water in your body in any way. I can't think of a biological system for human life or anything with the amount of energy it takes just to think, let alone move muscles and stuff. That does seem like you're not even talking about somebody who would actually technically be a human at that point. So I would call that likely miraculous, but I don't.
It's biologically impossible. He's full of shit, literally.
Yeah. Yeah, science can explain this one. He's just a liar. Go find me the hole and test the nutritious fluid, and then I got
Mark Caesar says, no bowel movements, see he is full of shit. Nice.
2. Tears of Our Lady of Akita. The Our Lady of Akita was documented crying human tears in over 101 occurrences over a span of 6 years in Japan. The tears were sampled and brought to Oxford University to verify that they were in fact human tears. This signified an apocalyptic message warning that the world needs to hold more confidence in God, else calamities will happen all over the world.
The reason why I know that didn't happen is because this is the first time I'm hearing about it. Verifying human tears would mean you actually got the DNA trace out of it. And what kind of DNA does a statue give off?
I'm gonna look this up real quick. Verified human tears from statue.
Yeah.
Okay. There's no way that okay.
They found out
What was the name of it?
The human tears of the gardener who fucking handles this thing. Let's go back.
What's the name of it?
Tears of Our Lady of Akita.
Okay.
Check that shit out. I'm just
Lady of Akita.
Yeah. Especially this kind of the bar is so low for miracles. We saw some moisture. I guarantee you there's no DNA. But you can look. We saw some moisture. That has to either be an actual tear. It certainly can't just be somebody fucking doing it.
Okay, this says what? This says that when tested, the blood types of the statue, blood and sweat that was pouring from the eyes looking like tears were found to be types B and AB respectively. Recognized, let's see, the Catholic Faith and Morals Commission found that it recognized the supernatural character of a series of mysterious events concerning the statue, authorized the Holy Mother of Akita by the Holy See. I'm not seeing anything worse. Let's see. Appears to exist. What it appears that the Akita has not been an approved apparition of the apocalyptic warnings that we have read. As of May 2016, the Holy See had not issued a formal statement on the matter. Nothing about it. What it was debunked by, though.
So this person's just saying tears. The thing you were seeing was tears and blood. They tested the blood, and it was two different types of blood. One was type A and one was type B. You know, I'm just going to go with science can explain this. There's somebody putting their blood on the statue's face.
Correct.
It's a materialistic, totally natural explanation. Therefore, since it's the only realm we actually know exists, a bajillion times more likely than the supernatural explanation.
I'm still, I'm curious, though.
I liked South Park. They did a version of this
Here we
where
go.
the statue was shitting. It was just explosive diarrhea.
Science debunks miracle of weeping statue. It has been exposed as a fake by an Italian scientist. He used the logic of deductive reasoning. The miracle of a statue that appears to weep has been caught on film, but a chemistry researcher believes he can explain why. He made his own weeping Madonna, which baffled onlookers into believing the statue was able to shed tears without any mechanical or the deployment of water-absorbing chemicals. The secret, he revealed, is to use a hollowed statue made of thin plaster. If it is with an impermeable glazing and water poured onto the hollow center from a tiny hole in the head, the statue behaves quite normally. The plaster absorbs the liquid, but the glazing prevents it from pouring out. But if a barely perceptible scratches are made in the glazing over the eyes, droplets of water appear as if by divine intervention rather than by capillary attraction, the movement of water through sponge-like material. So, there you go.
But what about it was verified?
It was probably some guy down the river that was doing it.
That's good. Okay. Here's the last one. Let's move forward a little.
Hold more confidence in God, else calamities will happen all over the world. Number 1. Miraculous survival of mosques in Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami. On December 26, 2004, the devastating earthquake measuring 9.1 on the Richter scale, which shook the Indian Ocean off the coast of North Sumatra, Indonesia. Most buildings had washed away by a huge wave of tsunami. Everything washed away. So powerful wave that can swept out even hundreds and thousands of tons boat vessel. But tsunami wave doesn't take effect on at least 27 mosques. Moreover, the slightly glass of windows wasn't cracked, and everyone who stayed inside the mosque survived. It is certain.
I actually already know the rebuttal to this one. This one I actually heard about already, so we'll let it finish playing, but it's really boring. It's a really boring explanation.
Surprising, especially some of the mosque, located not far from the beach. It was indeed a miracle.
Wasn't it all? What's your guess?
I'm going to guess that surrounding buildings took the blunt of the blow, and it just, because of its positioning in...
The point was, and it is a remarkable sight that it kept happening in all of these places. And the reason is all of these homes and buildings and structures reflect the poverty of the area. Mosques had way more money. And so like your average house that's built in the U.S. also wouldn't have swept away. Mosques have way more money and were the most engineeringly sound buildings anywhere.
Sure. Makes sense.
And that's it.
You had slums the rest of the place. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the whole thing. I built a tower 500 feet high, and it was so miraculous because I could see farther from it, the top of it, than I could from the top of my house. That's how.
What is Batman doing at a mosque?
Batman's more down here. Where were the other drugs going? That's more like a demon. Where were the other drugs going? It's a bit silly and cartoony.
Sounds like Barney after a week bender.
I don't even know what video I just ended up on.
Okay.
That was our final
Straw of the week.
Yes, we do have, as we have ended in the past. Oh, well, but first of all, are you now a believer from all those things science can't explain, nor can apparently Dr. I Obvious, whatever he's called?
Well, obviously he can, because you know what? I put my faith in the man down the river. That's what I've learned from this.
I think all of them were the man down the river. Every single one of them. A man down the river threw like some like comfort pads, like some memory foam, right over that wife, that grandma, and the kid. Go ahead.
Water is the thing that links them all. So maybe water is our god. The first one was going down in water. One man didn't drink water for 70 years. Yeah. The statue was crying water. Water missed the mosque. Water, ladies and gentlemen. Next time you are in a convenience store, make sure you bow down to Aquafina. Not Deer Park. Deer Park is the Antichrist. It's Aquafina. Yeah.
All right. Isn't Aquafina just filtered water? Or is it actually...
I thought Aquafina was how you say water in Spanish.
That's just agua. Dasani, I think, is the one that's just filtered tap water.
He's an Italian fake.
I love me some Fiji water. I also like the bottles from Voss the most. Anyway, welcome, Strawman. Let's watch your countdown. These are the best videos from the atheist community. I don't think I made the list this week, so maybe I disagree. Shit, I hit play on the wrong one again. Okay, let's pull you over here. And there's no audio.
Got some great videos this week, so let's get right to it. Number 5 this week is 3 Black... Hello, Hellbound friends. It's time for another edition of the Strawman Countdown. Got some great videos this week, so let's get right to it. Number 5 this week is 3 Black Heathens. What's the 411 in Talking Christianity with G-Con? The 3 Black Heathen Show is one of my favorite new shows on YouTube. In this episode, Emperor Atheist takes on G-Con, and it's simply a brilliant display by Emperor Atheist. The 3 Black Heathens' understanding of philosophy is awesome, and I love how they used it during their arguments on the show. Great video.
Did you watch that one?
I haven't yet. It's on my watch later.
I usually put all of Iowans on my watch later. Sorry, I don't have any commentary for this one.
Number 4 this week is Cyrus the Skeptic, These Things Need to Stop, with Steve.
I like to think that the thumbnail is saying these things need to stop, and Steve McRae is the things that need to stop. I don't know. It's just funny in my head.
McRae. Now, I almost didn't include this because Cyrus took out some of the hilarious head wobble when he re-uploaded it. Meth Head Steve was absolutely amazing. Anyway, it's a great video on some of the poor arguments that are used in the theist versus atheist debates. Check it out, even if the head wobble is greatly missed. Video number 3 this week is NonSequitur Show, Revelations 8:14.
Do you want me to just skip forward?
Let us pray. Huh? Godless Cranium takes on...
It was a joke on your never subscribe, never watch thing. Should I just?
It wasn't funny.
It was hilarious. Back me up, live chat, since it's all on my channel this time.
pragmatic culture in this stream, and pragmatic culture tries desperately to find some way to defend the Catholic Church in a time when it's under attack from the inside out. He fails, of course, and Godless Cranium destroys his apologetic attempts. Great video.
I have debated pragmatic culture twice. He's very, very nice. He's like a super nice dude.
Very nice. But horrible on his arguments.
Get a different career, bro. I really like you. But get a new career.
He sounded like a rape apologist. I'm going to just be straight up. It was bad.
Unless I'm mixing up with somebody else, he was one of the ones defending Trump in my Bob Woodward book review this week.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Video number 2 this week.
What's that?
Surprising at all.
No. This is my man. I love Prophet of Zod. Here we go.
As Prophet of Zod, it takes more faith to be an atheist. Does it take more faith to be an atheist than it does to be a theist? No, it doesn't, and Zod does an awesome job pointing out just how ridiculous that claim is to hear. Thank you for making this video, Zod. I absolutely loved it. The number 1 video this week is Essence of Thought, Free Speech Atheist Demands I Remove One of My Videos. What do you do when someone attempts to blackmail you while at the same time pretends to be an advocate of free speech? You expose this person to the light of day. Awesome video from Essence of Thought. I truly enjoyed this video and empathize with what was said.
I have actually not watched an Essence of Thought video before, so I guess I'll go check that one out.
He's fantastic.
Is he good?
He's fantastic. Absolutely.
I'm just hearing about him. I can already see what's coming back on. We can just skip this. No, all right.
This week's video of the week is Steve McRae, Red Pill Religion is Morally Bankrupt. I was late in making the list this week, and to be honest, I'm glad I was. Due to my lateness, this video made it in under the wire, and it's a mic drop a minute. Steve McRae and Cyrus the Skeptic are on fleek during this whole video, and I can't recommend it more. Red Pill Religion are a pariah, and anyone supporting them or the Catholic Church are morally bankrupt individuals. Absolutely incredible stream. So those are my top 5 videos, plus the video of the week. I hope you'll check them out and subscribe to their channels. Links should be in the description. I'm the Godless Iowan. You can sub to my channel, follow me on Twitter at the Godless Iowan, or find more great videos from this week on my blog, www.theiowaAtheist.blog. Thanks, Jimmy and Kyle, and as always, don't panic.
And if you haven't already, Iowans, send me whatever text you want to be in the description. Because
it bothered me that you used the term on fleek to describe Cyrus the Skeptic and Steve McRae. That's the only issue that I have with this video, Godless Iowan. If there's a word that does not at all describe, like Jimmy and I are on fleek.
That's true.
Steve and Cyrus, they're correct in their philosophical viewpoints.
Let me do this for Christina real quick.
Okay, that makes only one of us are on fleek. That would be me. That would be the and let me say this, if you'll allow me, really quick, audience, to indulge me for a second. If you have time, please go to Twitter and tweet at Studio Canal. You'll see on our page. It's pretty much all that's been tweeted out from us for the past 24 hours. There was a strike that was put on our channel, and that disables us from live streaming for 3 months currently. Now, if you know anything about the show, if you don't know anything about the show, then just walk away now, because you don't need to know. The show is very bad for your health.
Don't walk away yet.
Right, yeah.
Like and subscribe. By the way, we only have 5 likes with 65 watching. Either we're doing a terrible job, or please hit like.
Oh, yeah, there's a good plug. But anyway, they released, Studio Canal released a movie recently called The Lost City of Z. Now, that's based on a true story that actually happened. We did an episode about the true story, not about the movie. Had nothing to do with the movie, had no scenes from the movie, no audio from the movie, no images from the movie. The only thing that it shared with the movie was the title. But in addition to that title, I put that we had Dr. David Anderson. It was more of a lecture, and it was about the true story. Well, Studio Canal struck that video and claimed that we infringed on copyright. But you cannot copyright a title, and nothing in that video had anything to do with the movie. So what happened was somebody at Studio Canal saw the title, assumed that we were uploading the movie, and struck our channel. But we need to get this resolved, and you guys can help by going on Twitter and tweeting the fuck out of them until this is fixed. Because it's in their hands. They have to retract it.
Yeah, the 98-day ban on the first thing and just taking a person's word for it with no investigation before upholding the copyright strike is absolutely insane. It is insanity.
Yep.
That's bullshit.
So, we were in limbo until then.
Well, it looked like, did Scientist Mel make it into the live chat? Somebody was just
She did.
tagging her. Oh, hi, Scientist Mel. Don't forget to follow Scientist Mel. She was, she's got that video upcoming about we played her video earlier. She has the video upcoming about Jilly Juice. That'll be awesome.
She just super chatted you.
She said you can always play. Well, I do always do the super chats as Stewie's. You can always play my videos, Kyle. Weird that it was addressed to you, but whatever.
Christian apologist, it's not turned off. We just can't live stream until this is resolved or the 30 days passes. So right now we can still upload videos. That's what we plan to do. We've got our schedule kind of stacked now. We had to make some last minute adjustments. So you'll be getting the schedule like it is on the website, but in the next day. So like tomorrow we're recording the episode with Mercedes. We'll play it on Monday night. We'll record Mondays what was supposed to be live and play it Tuesday. Until this is fixed, that's the only way that we can, but we can't live stream right now.
Also, since somebody else jumped into the live chat, if you aren't subscribed to the channel already, we have some super collabs coming up, and this Thursday's episode of Dear Mr. Atheist features Shannon Q, Paula Gia, Eric and Jamie from Talk Heathen, Surus the Skeptic, and Prophet of Zod, I think? I don't remember if I have him on this one or the next one. But anyway, that's happening. That'll be this Thursday. And it's just an exciting time for all of us.
What's the topic?
The name of the video is 7 Signs You'll Be an Atheist Soon. Or eventually. Or soon. I haven't decided if I'm gonna go with soon or eventually.
Fantastic.
Yeah. It's a good deal. Good stuff. And we've got more of those kinds of videos coming out in the future with other people lined up, including my dashingly handsome co-host, Kyle.
I'm with you every week.
That's true, too.
That's enough.
I'm good. We done? What you got for the people? Anything less? Please do go and tweet that studio, though. I'm telling you now, too. All my friends.
Well, at this time, this is how we end the show. We always let Jimmy take us out with a bang. He has some words of advice. It's called Jimmy's Advice, and we're just out starting this segment. So take it away, Jimmy. What's your advice today?
Let's see. Activism is extremely important, and I love that more than ever because of social media. I'm literally making this off the top of my head, but I do believe this. More than ever, because of social media, you have the ability to have a voice that more people see. But there's been a trap set, and that is that a lot of people think their social media page, their Facebook page, and what they write, that the level of activism and distaste that they show on there is an adequate form of activism. And so if I can give people any advice, I will give you this. Please go fucking do something. And the number one thing I think you can do right now that isn't a lot more work, but it is a little bit of work, please register to vote. Everybody, whatever side you're on, register to vote and vote this November. That is Jimmy's advice for the week.
That was good. And I would just add to that, not all of you do something. Only those with really good ideas do something, okay? Not all of you are special or anything. Not all of you should do things, okay? Some of you just should not do things.
Even those with the bad ideas.
Ask a friend.
The people with the bad ideas, go volunteer at a food bank. They are devastatingly short, understaffed right now.
But don't vote.
Yeah, you don't have to vote. But go volunteer at food banks. Right now, we're about to get to the Thanksgiving season, but for some reason, the season right beforehand, they are super, super understaffed. So if you are just wrong, instead of voting, go work at a food bank.
We got it. We got it there. All right,
awesome.
That was good.
Thank
Another good episode in the can.
Loved it. Loved it. Kyle, I'm going to give you the sign-off phrase
right.
this week.
That was fun. That was fun, Jimmy. I got to run. The Hurricane Florence and all that. This has been great, but yeah.
Be safe. Wait a second. Wait. Give me a second, and I can make this beautiful. I hope. Oh, shit. I hope you're okay. Don't let the hurricane get. Whoa! That's so stupid. Bye, everybody.
That was the best way to end ever.